Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and today you're joining me in sunny Florida. It's not ideal conditions for making a YouTube video, but we're gonna make it work. Two things before we start. It is very warm out today, so forgive my appearance, I'm sweating. And the second thing is I've seen 3 different alligators while standing here, so I'm gonna keep my head on a swivel. Okay, so the reason we're out here today is because we're talking about a new firmware update that is coming to COROS watches in the next week, in April of 2024. This is a big feature update from COROS, and it's got a whole bunch to it, but I'm just gonna kind of go through the most important features and why I think they're interesting in this video today. So before we get all the way into this, public beta for these features will be rolling out on April 24th. However, COROS has mentioned that they might push that by a day or two, but you can expect it around that time frame. That means beta access for general public will be available, but it will be rolled out in phases, and not everybody will have it right off the bat. With all that out of the way, let's dive into the first set of features that I'm most excited about in this update, and that is screen mirroring. So screen mirroring is going to come in 2 different flavors. Indoor activity screen mirroring will be most useful for things like running on a treadmill, being on an indoor trainer on a bike, being on a stationary trainer, indoor rowing, things like that. And what this will allow you to do is all the data that you're collecting on your COROS watch, whether that be the COROS Pace 3, Apex 2, the Apex 2 Pro, the Vertix 2, will be able to display the data from the watch, all the metrics it's collecting on your phone as well. And this is super cool. That means while you're running on a treadmill or you're on your indoor trainer, you could have your phone propped up in front of you on whatever tray you might have, and you could be reading out your distance, your pace, your heart rate data, and all of that displayed on your phone or even on an iPad or something like that. This is a really cool feature, and it's actually something that Apple's done before, and now we're seeing it on COROS as well. And COROS says you'll also be able to go into the settings and customize exactly what metrics you'll see at a glance on your phone. What was that? Alligators? Any alligators behind me? And like I said before, the screen mirroring function will come in 2 different flavors. There will also be an outdoor version, and this is really exciting because not only will it display your metrics like your heart rate and your distance and pace at the bottom of the screen, but the entire screen can also be filled with a map view of your activity. And why this is interesting is if you're outside and you're navigating a route on your COROS Vertix 2 or Apex 2 Pro, you'll be able to mirror that map with your breadcrumb trail and your course and all of your course information to the phone screen as well. And the reason why this would be useful is if you're doing something like hiking or trail running, where you approach a junction, a trail intersection, you don't know which way to go, you can go ahead and look at your phone now and get a nice big view on the big screen of your phone instead of having to discern what's going on the tiny 1.4-inch display on your wrist. And this could be really valuable in certain situations. Another reason why you'd want to do this is if you're a cyclist. If you're on a bicycle and you're riding on the road or even mountain biking, you could have your phone on your handlebars and get a view of navigation at a glance while you're out riding, and that could be very useful as well. Guys, remember what I was saying about alligators being around here? Check this out. I'm gonna record this with my phone. I'm gonna zoom in. There's literally an alligator about, I don't know, 30 feet from me over there. Yeah, they're real. Okay, next up in this update from COROS is going to be a virtual pacer. And this is a feature that's been highly requested for a long time. Virtual pacer is exactly what it sounds like. It'll allow you to dial in a goal distance and a goal pace, and you'll be able to follow that in real time on your watch. And this is something that a lot of the competition has had, like Garmin and Suunto and all the other brands out there, and it's now on COROS as well. Next up in this update is going to be a redesign to the activity data field. Basically what they've done is tried to declutter the display. So in this new update, what they've added is a new option in the settings where you can toggle those labels on or off. When you have the metric labels off, the metrics will be visible for about 5 seconds. When you touch or roll the dial on your watch or do anything like that or interact with it, you'll be able to read each metric. But after 5 seconds, the label for that metric will disappear and turn into a simple icon. When you raise your wrist to look at the watch, you'll be able to read heart rate for that metric. But then after 5 seconds, it will disappear and turn into a little heart icon instead. And of course, course, if you like the way it is right now, this is totally optional. This will be a setting in the watch that you can turn on and off. Guys, this alligator is really creeping me out. I keep taking videos of it. He's over there, he's staring at me, and I feel like the louder I talk, the closer he gets. The next new feature in this update is optimizations for GPS activities for climbing. This is for multi-pitch outdoor climbing. If you're a rock climber or an ice climber, this is a very niche use case scenario, but it is pretty interesting what COROS did here. Basically, what COROS has done is created an algorithm that will combine your overhead GPS data, which is typically used for a running or cycling activity, and they've sort of used map data, like satellite map data, to judge distance on a vertical wall. And they've said that they've actually been able to dial this in pretty accurately. Another update to the COROS ecosystem is going to be cycling fitness data improvements. So this is basically the cycling version of the running fitness test will now be available within the COROS app, and it will guide you through a fitness test on your bike. This will generally be about a 20-minute test where you cycle at almost maximum threshold, and then it will give you an idea of what kind of fitness you're in after the test. You can do this over time and judge whether or not your fitness is improving or declining with your training. Again, not a huge cyclist myself, but this is a nice improvement. It's cool to see that COROS is branching out from mainly just being a running-focused watch and now delving more into things like climbing and cycling as well. So that's really it for the big updates in this April 2024 COROS release. However, there are a whole bunch of other updates as well. I'm going to run through these very quick. First of all, you'll be able to start a navigation. You'll be able to navigate a course while you're in a planned workout. And this is something that was lacking in the past, and it was highly requested by users out there. They finally implemented it, so you can now be doing a workout and navigate at the same time. The next thing is that they've added workout functionality to the climbing activity profile. And on top of that, when it comes to bouldering and using the bouldering activity profile, they've added more grades. So previously there were only a few sets of grades. They've added a whole bunch more for international standards. Now, when it comes to training for all training profiles, they've also improved the recovery timer, and they've added support for Strava Note Sync. That means if you record an activity in COROS, in the COROS app, and leave a note, this will also transfer over to your Strava activity as well. And that can be really useful if you've got some important data you want to share between the two apps. There's also been improvements to the swimming activity profile to support more pool lengths. And finally, this one's pretty cool. They've added Insta360 support, and this is pretty cool. This is something that was on Garmin and Apple Watch before, where you could overlay your data. That could be your heart rate data, your GPS data, your speed and distance, all within the Insta360 app on your phone using an Insta360 action camera. They've added that same functionality that Garmin and Apple already had to COROS as well. As I understand right now, COROS has added the functionality, but Insta360 still has to do some work in their app to make this all work. COROS basically added the API functionality to bring that data into the Insta360 app, but Insta360 still needs to implement it. So it may or may not be available at the time of releasing this video. Just know it's coming, and if you have an Insta360 Ace Pro or X4 action camera, this could be really useful for you. And that's really it for this super quick video. I just wanted to make you aware what's coming to your COROS watch. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, useful, anything, please consider going down and giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel down below before I get eaten by an alligator out here. Make sure to check out the links in the description down below if you're planning on picking up a COROS watch. And while you're down there checking out the links to these watches, also check out the links over to my other social media profiles, like my podcast on YouTube and audio form, and my merch store where you can get a sweet hat like this or lots of t-shirts that I've been making lately. And with that, that's the end of this short but sweet video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.